Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new episode of the Car and Bike Show right here on the NDTV network. We've got a brand new car for you, as you can see. There's plenty more as well. That's coming up over the next half hour. Let's take a look at what we have for you. The SX4 looking better than ever before. The Ninja review finally for you. Alright folks, right at the top of the show, it is that new car. Now, if you were to believe Maruti, the men are back for the second time around. And they're wearing new clothes. Is that all that's new about the new SX4? Well, let's drive it and find out. The new SX4 has arrived. So I guess you can say the men are back for the second time. Alright, corny ad lines aside, what do you really get? Well, for the most part, it's what the auto industry calls a MMC, or a minor model change. And that means that it's essentially the styling that gets slightly refreshed. There's the same big butt at the back, so no changes as far as styling and the rear are concerned. So let's skip that and move on to the side, which again is pretty much the same from what the old one was. But you got the new 10-spoke alloy wheels. That's new for sure, and it's a new pattern. But of course, you still get the 16-inch wheels. So that's a nice thing, and that's what I've always liked about the SX4. Nice, big, chunky tires. So they look good. Now, the big changes in terms of styling are in the front. If you view the car from a distance, you know it's the SX4 because it looks familiar. The face is familiar, but what you get is a very subtle change in the bumper, and the big change, of course, is the front grille. Now, earlier you had the horizontal slats with the Suzuki logo. Now what you get is a bit of a mesh of sorts. Why I like this is because it's in keeping with the Suzuki international character in a sense. We showed you the Kizashi on the program last week. That's the bigger sibling that's going to be driving in the middle of 2010. It has a similar sort of a look up front. So what's nice is that with the SX4 now, getting the same kind of family look, it looks a little bit sporty, looks a little bit upmarket and a little more international. So I like that. What I also really like is the new color. It's called Oyster Blue. Blue basically, and it's a nice sky blue. It's different. The segment doesn't really have something like this, so again, that's good. New colors are always exciting. There's another chocolate brown of sorts that's been driven in as well by Maruti, but most of the old colors are still there. All the reds are gone though. So that's about it when it comes to the styling changes, but there are some significant changes under the hood and also on the interiors. Let's run you through those. But that's not all the guys at Maruti have done. You see, the car also needed a tweak under the hood to ensure that it's Bharat Stage 4 or BS4 ready before the April 2010 deadline. So the same engine block now gets variable valve timing, and so even though the figures may seem the same as the old SX4, look closer and you realize the RPM has changed and you do get a smidgen of extra torque. But does this change the drive? Well, sadly, not a whole lot that you would notice. The old SX4 was always fun enough, and power was always decent, as was ride quality thanks to the huge 16-inch wheels. The ride still doesn't feel very cushioned though, but you get great ground clearance and ride height. Of course, what's also very new is the optional 4-speed automatic gearbox. Yup, they had to bring you something that stood out as completely new, isn't it? So you get an auto box, a first from Maruti, and no, I am obviously not counting the Grand Vitara. The gearbox is adequate, but it's not the smoothest. I expected a silken transmission at this stage in the game, but it's a bit clunky, I'm afraid, and very old world. See this? The gears slip in and out of slots without even putting my foot on the brake clutch pedal. Now that's just weird. A 5-speed box would have assisted this motor much better, but yes, the one we get isn't all bad. It's smooth enough, I guess, since the convenience of driving an auto box in the city is really what counts for most buyers in this class, after all. The interiors of the car also do look refreshed. It's something I noticed as soon as I got in, perhaps even more so than the changes on the outside. Though the overall chunky and full-bodied styling of the dash remains the same, the two-tone split in colors looks fairly upmarket. The vehicle is reasonably well kitted out, and you still get the airbags, the climate control system, audio controls on the steering wheel, and now there's also the USB input for your iPod, all in the top-end ZX side. So then, we must come to the all-important prices. And here is where Maruti always steals a march over the rest. Until the Swift Desire came along, the SX4 was the segment darling. The Desire seemed to offer similar appeal at a much lower price, and so buyers shunned the SX4 even though they went to the dealership to book one. But now with the more international looks, great road presence, the added incentive of an automatic variant, and prices that still blow the Honda City out of the water, the car tops off with its auto variant where the base manual Honda City starts. So Maruti may have something going for it. It's not the best car in its class by a long shot, but it is definitely looking like very good value once again. So if you want space and some goodies, don't like the Linea or the Indigo Manza, then consider the SX4. Alright folks, we have to take a chota-sa break, but when we are back, there's plenty more to look forward to. Our sector snapshot is coming up right after this. Alright folks, that's it on this week's episode, but the new SX4, please react to it. There's been so many of you who've already had lots to say about it on Facebook. I want to hear more comments, I want to hear more reactions, so keep them coming. You can of course email us, you can SMS us as well. So lots of ways to get in touch. And remember that we will be back next week with something more exciting for you. So tune into the program next week, stay with NDTV right now, and always wear your seatbelts. Bye-bye.